Hi, everybody. This is Sara Fancy. This is a Spooky2 Scalar Biofeedback scan presentation. Everything you need to know to do your own Scalar Biofeedback scans and run the results. Okay, so in this Spooky2 Scalar Biofeedback presentation, you will have an introduction to Scalar Biofeedback scan, the differences between scalar biofeedback scans and other ways of doing biofeedback scans, how to connect the hardware and operate the software for Scalar Scan, how to run the results from the Scalar Scan, and then hunt and kill. Okay, so my contact, like I said, is frequenciesup@gmail.com. Sara Fancy on Facebook, like you can send me a friend request. I'm very friendly. Frequencies Up is my YouTube channel, and I'll be uploading some of my webinars there for Spooky2. And then Sara Fancy Constellation on Instagram. So those are all different ways that you can reach me. I'm pretty communicative. Okay, so what are scalar waves? Scalar waves, also known as longitudinal waves. Hold on, sorry. I'm going to move this. Okay, here we go. Scalar waves, also known as longitudinal waves, are created by a pair of identical waves 180 degrees out of phase with each other. This creates a non-Hertzian field of energy, meaning the scalar waves do not travel through space in the same way as traditional electromagnetic waves. They are believed to have zero frequency, zero-point field, allowing them to transcend the constraints of time and space. Scalar waves are often described as standing waves, meaning that they do not move through space but exist as a stationary pattern of energy. Scalar waves can be programmed to carry information and can move through solid metal objects. The field tends to become stronger the larger it becomes. The helical shape of scalar waves mimic the helical structure and clockwise movement of our DNA, thus creating a resonance that allows our DNA to absorb scalar for healing purposes. I'm just reading off my slides. So who discovered scalar waves? Well, actually, it was James Clerk Maxwell, a Scottish scientist born in 1831. He made great contributions in the field of mathematical physics. Maxwell formulated the theories of electromagnetic radiation and electromagnetic fields. Nikola Tesla advanced Maxwell's findings and invented machines proving the existence of scalar energy. In the late 1800s, early 1900s, Tesla discovered an electromagnetic longitudinal wave. Today, this is known as scalar waves. So on the right here on the bottom, you'll see examples of scalar waves. And there he is, Nikola Tesla, in front of his massive scalar device. Okay, now we're going to go into the different modes that Scalar offers. Okay, so I just want to say, if you're new to Spooky2 products, Scalar is different. It's not frequency, okay, it's Scalar. So they have frequency products like Generator X, the XM generator, and then the Spooky Central. Those are all frequency based, and the Scalar is different. The Scalar is scalar based. So frequency is Rife, Royal Raymond Rife. Scalar is Tesla, okay? So you have pure scalar, molecular scalar, Rife scalar, and scalar harmony. Those are the different modes that you can use with the scalar. And here are the benefits of Spooky2 Scalar. Increases cell energy, boosts energy levels, opens the chakras, slows aging, accelerates body metabolism and weight management, enhances body circulation, relieves high blood pressure, unclamps blood cells, reduces pain and inflammation, helps with arthritis and injuries, stimulates our natural immune function to kill viruses and bacteria, speeds up natural healing, improves permeability of cell walls, enhances cell nutrient absorption and waste detoxification, manages stress, improves sleep quality, heals nerves, helps with depression, clears the mind, enhances focus and concentration, improves memory, relieves migraine, reduces the harmful effects of EMFs from cell phones, computers, Wi-Fi, etc., repairs DNA, protects DNA from damage, and enhances plant health and growth. Right, so, you can put plants in the scalar field. You can also put animals in the scalar field so they can benefit from it as well. All right, so here you have the actual device. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the right. It's like 2 boxes. They're not that big. Then they don't weigh that much. So on the left here, you have the transmitter. Yeah, the transmitter. And then on the right, you have the receiver. And on the bottom pictures, you can see what the transmitter looks like. That's basically where all the action happens. And then you've got the receiver on the right, okay, which has the red light test button that lets you know that it's actually working. All right, so there are 2 boxes with lids. One is the transmitter and the other one is the receiver. You place them opposite each other at least 6 feet apart with the outer lids facing each other. All right, so that's important. When I first got it, I had them the wrong way around. And then I looked at a diagram and I realized after about a couple of weeks that they were actually facing the wrong way. Okay, so that's important. Use the link cable to connect the boxes and turn the power on. To create a coherent scalar field, turn the tuning dial anti-clockwise and stop when you see the red light shine the brightest. Okay, so that's how you tune it. The transmitter here down on the left, it has a tuning dial. You can see it. I wrote tuning dial on it. And you just turn that to the left. And then you get a red light that comes on. And when it's the brightest, it's so easy. Okay, that's when you've got a field happening. And you can confirm it's working by pressing the button on the receiver box, which will show a red light. So another red light, but this time it's on the receiver. And you want to make sure you turn it off. It's not supposed to be on all the time. Otherwise, it will deplete power from your scalar field. All right, so we're going to go through the modalities. This is pure scalar. Okay, so this is something you can do if you got the scalar device, you got it tomorrow, you could set it up, you could be sleeping in it that night, or at least be in it. You might want to ease into it. Some people are very sensitive and it's too much. I did like 20 minutes and then I worked up to half an hour and then I did a whole night just in a few days and it's great. And I've been doing it every night since. So being able to create and be in your own scalar field is probably one of the best things you can do for your health. Spooky2 Scalar is considered a healing device, unlike the Spooky2 Central, which is more focused on killing. Okay, so anyone who is not familiar with the way that the devices work in the software database, you're either killing or healing. So if you're killing pathogens, viruses, parasites, all the things that you don't want. And then if you're healing, okay, you're basically in training. You're in training to whatever needs to be healed. And that's basically the 2 options. So the scalar device itself is definitely a healing device. It's not necessarily killing anything. All right. It's I just want to say this too. It's subtle. It's subtle but it's really powerful. It's really powerful. You'll see if you use it. Okay, so then you get molecular scalar. Okay, so this is another modality on the left here. And you'll see on my receiver box, I have a glass there and it has supplements in it. Okay, so you can put supplements, you can put herbs, oils, whatever you put on that receiver coil is gonna enter into the scalar field and your body is gonna absorb it along with the scalar. Okay. I am now just using melatonin, magnesium, and vitamin C because the more you have on it, the weaker it is really. So the less things, it's going to be more concentrated. It's still good though. And then I really like the melatonin on it because it just knocks me out and I can sleep really good and sleep basically through anything. So then on the right here, we have the scalar harmonizer. So the scalar harmonizer is an independent device. It's here on the right. See that? Like it looks like a disc. And then it has a little indentation in there where you can put oils in there. That's what that's for. So you can combine that with the molecular mode. Right? And what the harmonizer is doing is it's taking the frequencies of any audio file that you put in, and you can do it from a phone or a tablet or a laptop or any audio device that you have. And that will go into the scalar field as well. And Spooky does have an app that they have tons and tons of audio files for healing. All right. Now, I just want to say something about the harmonizer. It's not an audio device. Like, you're not going to hear beautiful music. You're going to feel it. It's going to come into your cells. It's not set up to have a beautiful sound. You'll barely hear it anyway. So just so there's no confusion around that. All right, so whatever is placed on the receiver coil will imprint into water placed on the transmitter coil. Okay, so here we are, glass of water. Don't put a plastic bowl of water on there. Just use glass. Same goes for the receiver. Just use glass things. Don't use plastic. So here you have the water, and so say like you're sleeping in the Spooky2 Scalar device, you got your field set up, you've got your supplements or your medications, whatever it is that you have on the receiver coil, it is gonna be what's the word? It's gonna be put into the water, imprinted. That's what I want. It's gonna be imprinted into the water. So the following day, you can drink that. You know, some people sip it during the day. I generally drink it all in the morning. So there you have that. And then we have Rife Scalar. So this is what it looks like. The two devices are connected to the Generator X Pro. It does not work with the XM generator, sorry to say, but the Generator X Pro is designed to work with the scalar. It has two generators, and you need two generators for it to do the scan. And also you need the, yeah, this is, so, sorry, getting tongue-tied. Okay. I believe you can use the XM if you just want to put frequencies like this, like Rife Scalar. I believe you can use the XM generator because you only need one generator to do that. But when you're doing the scan, you need two generators. That's why you need the Generator X Pro. All right. And then you can put in any frequencies that you can find in the database. You can add it along with a scalar so that it will mix into the scalar field and you'll be receiving that as well. And then we have a picture of someone inside the scalar field. And the other thing is that you don't want the generator in the field. You want it outside of the field. Same with the laptop. You don't want it inside the field. The field looks like a football. It's an oval shape. I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. Okay, so Spooky2 has 4 biofeedback scan options. All right, so these are all the different ways that you can do biofeedback scans with Spooky products. So you have the pulse biofeedback scan using the XM generator. So the XM generator is not that expensive. And you can do biofeedback scans with that, and it reads the entire body by monitoring the heart rate. It does take a little longer. I believe it's about an hour. And you have to be pretty still. I think you can break it down into segments. So that's one way. And then the Generator X Pro, which is the twin generator I just talked about, the biofeedback scan uses TENS pads on localized areas of the body. Okay, so if you have something going on in your gut, you can put it on either side of your belly. All right. Or if you have something going on with your shoulder, you can put it on either side of your shoulder and do a scan. All right. So the sample digitizer scan uses biological samples such as blood, saliva, and urine, etc., with the sample digitizer connected to the Generator X Pro. All right, so that will only work with the Generator X Pro. The biofeedback will detect the pathogens within the sample. So a lot of times people use that when they have flu or something like that, and they put their mucus on there. And then you have the scalar biofeedback scan, which sends a frequency sweep into the scalar field and monitors how your body responds. This type of biofeedback scan is what I'll be focusing on in this presentation. All right, so what you need in order to do your scalar biofeedback scans is Spooky2 Scalar, obviously, and there it is on the right, the 2 boxes. Okay, a scalar digitizer, which is the little device on the bottom right. It's quite small. It's smaller than my hand. It fits in the palm of my hand. And it doesn't cost that much. It's under $40. And if you don't have one and you have a scalar device, it's definitely worth getting one. But you would need the Generator X Pro to use it. Okay, so it's not going to work with the XM generator. So you do need the Generator X Pro, and you also need a Windows laptop computer or Windows computer. Actually, someone sent me a message after the presentation last night, and she was saying the biggest challenge for her was learning Windows. And that was how it was for me, because I am not a techie person, and I use Mac for everything. And Spooky database really only works with Windows. I believe you can use it on your Mac if you download a program. I think it's called Boot Camp. But then, if that's the main computer that you use, it gets confusing. Anyway, so yeah, Windows for me, like learning it, like it was really frustrating. And the same for this person that contacted me. But I persevered, she persevered. It's worth it. Any obstacles, just move through it, because what you have access to is unbelievable with the Spooky2 devices. And yeah, so that was my biggest challenge, was learning Windows. I still don't really know how to use it. Anyway, connecting hardware. So this is connecting the hardware to do the biofeedback scan with Scalar. So obviously you want to plug in the power plug from the Scalar transmitter. The next slide is going to have pictures. So I'm just telling you first what to do. You connect the Scalar digitizer to the link cable port on the Scalar transmitter. Then you connect the link cable to the top of the scalar digitizer. It won't go in all the way. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to find it. I'm going to get it out for you so you can see. Because this little thing is the scalar digitizer, okay? And this is all where everything goes. You got 3 things here. Okay, so yeah, so it won't go in all the way. So don't like try to shove it in there because it's not going to, you'll break it. So make sure the other end of the link cable is connected to the scalar receiver, obviously, right? That's obvious. Then you're going to connect G1 out 1 from Generator X Pro to the scalar digitizer. And then you're going to connect G2 out 1 from Generator X Pro to the BNC port. So these are with cables. It comes with everything. It comes with instructions as well. You may have to go over and over this to get it. I did. I had to go over and over it, the instructions. I found them online as well, written, and I just followed the instructions. And that's all you have to do is just follow the instructions and you'll be able to do it. And to be honest, I didn't quite understand it. I understand it more now, but it can get a bit overwhelming. So just take it step by step. And as long as you do everything that I tell you, it'll work. Okay. And you want to do that. You want to connect G1 out 1 to the scalar digitizer. Don't do it the other way around. And then you put G2 out 1 to the BNC port. So make sure you do those steps correctly. All right, so here we have images. On the left is the scalar digitizer to link cable port. All right, so that's that little device plugged in there like that. This little thing here goes in there with this thing hanging out, right? So now you go to the right, link cable connects to the digitizer. So it goes in the top here, right? That's your link cable that goes to the other box, the receiver. Then G1 out 1 connects to digitizer. All right, so that's on here, the BNC connector here. And that goes to G1 out 1, generator 1 out 1. And then the generator 2 out 1 connects to the BNC port. Okay, so you can see it in this bottom right diagram. It's pretty easy to figure that out. It's not that complicated. Okay. And now you connect the Generator X Pro to the computer and short press GX to turn on. There you have the diagram there. You see it. All right. So again, you don't want the laptop in the field. That's just showing you how they all connect. You see it's connected to the Generator X Pro on the right, hit there in the front. So the next thing you do is turn on and tune the scalar. Okay, so you keep the Gen X away from the transmitter and out of the scalar field. And that's it. That's installing the hardware. You've done it. So now we're going to go to the software. Okay. So what I do with my generator is I put stickers for the port numbers. All right. So for instance, G1 is to 5, port 5, and G2 is to port 4. It also says it on the LED screen. You can see there in tiny little writing. It says it there. For me, if I'm looking at it from a distance, it's easier with the stickers. That's why I do that. So I've explained everything there. Let me go on. All right, so here we go. So you launch the Spooky2 software. Now you have to make sure you know which port numbers correspond to G1 and G2, which I just explained. For example, my G1 connects to 5 and G2 connects to 4. So now you go to presets, home, and click on biofeedback. All right, that's the first thing in the menu, biofeedback, and choose scalar digitizer. select Spooky2 Scalar Digitizer Slave. All right, that's important. There's only 4 options in that menu. There's 2 hunting kills and 2 scalar digitizers, right? One's a slave and one's a master. You start with the slave. Then you go to the settings tab, okay? And under output control, it's in the middle there, it says out 1, and then you type in 5. Okay, so see the image here and see where I've highlighted it in green, where I put in 5. Okay, so for you, it will be your G1 port number. Okay, so now you proceed to Control tab and you click on Overwrite and then choose G2 port 4 to load the settings. So that's important. You see that? You go to the G2 port, which for me is 4. Now you go back to the preset tab, click on the Biofeedback Master preset. Okay, so, and then go to Control tab, click on Overwrite and choose G1, which is my port 5, to load the preset. And that's it. Okay, so it's all in place now. All you have to do is click on the scan to start the biofeedback scan. Okay, and then you can save the scan results. And if you want, you can click on reverse lookup. It's on the far right side of the Control tab to see what frequencies correlate to anything in the database. All right, now if you want to continue running those frequencies that you got from the scan through the scalar, you can just take off the digitizer, the little digitizer, keep the other cable in from G2, and then you're just going to run the results and it's going to go through the G2. Okay. And then you'll receive the frequencies from the scan that way. And that's just going to be 1 round as a default. All right. So you want to make sure there are no other living organisms in the scalar field. Such as plants, pets, or other people. There should be no electronic devices or metal objects inside your field. So this is a bit of a debate. Yesterday, some people were saying that it's okay to have metal things in the field, like if you have metal in your bed or there's metal in your chair. I was told, and I learned from Spooky that it's better not to have metal objects. So there seems to be conflicting advice, but I tend to go with what Spooky2 says. So it's up to you. You can experiment and see what happens. All right, it's not going to harm you anyway, but you definitely don't want any electronic devices. I mean, when I talk about metal objects inside your field, I'm talking about when you're doing the scan, okay? But again, maybe it's okay. I don't know. I don't do that. I don't have metal inside my field. All right. So the scalar field forms an oval shape like a football. The width of the field is approximately half the size of the length. For example, if the 2 scalar boxes are 6 feet apart, the width in the middle would be 3 feet. So you want to stay as still as you can during your scan. The default scan lasts for approximately 20 minutes, and the results will show the top 20 hits of frequencies. If you're alone, you can set the start delay in the Control tab. It's the bottom left corner, and they suggest to put it to 2000. I think I have mine set at 200. It gives plenty of time for you to settle into wherever you set up your field, on your bed, or on a couch, or on a chair, or on the floor. Get in position, be comfortable, and sit or lay still for 20 minutes, approximately. So that's, if you're on your own and you don't have anyone to press the scan button for you. All right, so now I'm going to talk about hunt and kill. So that's the other option in the menu, in the biofeedback menu. So you can run hunt and kill through the Scalar Biofeedback, do everything the same except choose hunt and kill slave, and then the master options in the biofeedback Scalar digitizer menu. Keep the digitizer in place as hunt and kill will keep scanning and running frequencies until you manually stop it. All right, so that's important. You don't remove the device. It's just going to keep doing it. It's scanning, running the frequencies, scanning, running the frequencies. Every time it scans, it's refining the scan. So it's hunting all the things that are trying to hide in your body, that are clever, and it's seeking them out and it's killing them. Some people do it all night. Some people do that. Me, I wouldn't do that. It's quite strong. You have to monitor yourself and you have to be smart about things and, never underestimate it. You could have a Herx reaction. If you don't know what that is, that's basically when you have a healing crisis, like everything, all the pathogens are released, the parasites, everything, and then your body is overwhelmed and you feel terrible. Okay, that's a Herx reaction. So you have to monitor yourself. Okay. So you can reverse look up hunt and kill frequencies by clicking on G1 port 5. It's port 5 for me. You can compare scans to see what frequencies repeat themselves. You can then customize your own programs based on the information in the scans and run them via remote or plasma. So obviously you can run them through the Scalar device like I explained. You can also run it through the remote or the plasma, the Spooky Central. Now, John White, who is the creator of all of these products, he's the best person to listen to. I recommend listening to any of his webinars because he knows the products, okay? And what he suggests is that you use the device that did the scan. For instance, if you did the scan with a Scalar, run the results through the Scalar. If you did it with the Generator X Pro, run it through the Generator X Pro. But you can still run it through other devices, like I said. All right. Okay, so recommended to run the scans every 4 to 7 days. And it might take you a few times to get the hang of it. Okay, it took me a few times to get the hang of it. What I was doing was I was setting everything up and then I'd forget to put the Scalar on. And I'd run the scans and realize that the Scalar wasn't on. So I don't do that anymore, but you just got to be calm, just methodical, read the instructions, watch this video again, screenshot, like whatever you need to do to do the procedure. Okay. It's worth it. And if I can do it, you can do it. Here we go. All right. So now I'm going to tell you why I love the Scalar Biofeedback scan. Okay. So first of all, it's easy because there are no attachments. That means you don't have to put TENS pads on or anything like that, right? And you only have to be still for approximately 20 minutes. You can lie down or sit comfortably during the scan. You can scan your pets if you can get them to relax or fall asleep. What I noticed during my own and my dog's Scalar's biofeedback scans, that's my dog Foxy, I had a few frequencies that showed up in mine that were very close to hers in her scans. And then reverse lookup equated these frequencies to respiratory diseases, specific parasites, and a virus. I'm like, eek. Like I had similar things to my dog, and it's a huge database. There's 60,000 programs in there. And it's a bit of an eye-opener. So after I ran the frequencies results for about a week, in my following scan, they had all gone, those things I just said. And in that process, right, it took about 3 weeks. I completely lost my appetite, and I'm eating at least a third less of what I normally eat. And it's a couple of weeks after. I haven't done any scans, maybe for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I haven't run the scans. And I still feel like that. Like I just don't have the appetite that I used to have. Like, for instance, I could eat pancakes any time of the day and be salivating. Now, not interested. And what I suspect is that the parasites were influencing my appetite. Anyway, and I was naturally drawn to drinking more water and eating light foods like watermelon. So I've been craving watermelon and water. That's what I've been doing. And I feel good. I have about the same amount of energy, but yeah, no, I feel good. So since doing the scalar scans on my elderly dog, Foxy, she has become more cognizant and energized. She's been completely blind for about 2 years, and in the last few months has been behaving like she had dementia. And actually, it showed up in her scan, and so did Alzheimer's. Although she is still blind, I definitely noticed an improvement in her health. So I just want to say something about the reverse lookup. Like, it's not a diagnostic tool. There could be like 1,000, so like 1,000 comes up, right? The frequency 1,000. There's a whole list associated with that frequency of ailments. Okay. And you might not have any of them. All it's saying is this frequency matches this ailment or whatever. But again, you could be a woman and have something that comes up for a man, right? And so obviously you don't have that, but it's kind of a good indicator. All right, so this is what I did. I saved the scan results and I ran them via remote because that's just easy for me. I can be walking around 24/7. I'm getting the frequencies. And I did the same for my dog. And after running the scan results nonstop for about 3 weeks, so I was scanning, running the frequencies remote, then I would do another scan about a week later, then I'd run those and I'd do another one a week later. And I noticed my mood was off. My mood was off. I felt irritable and a little bit depressed. So, I had like an edge. So I figured it was the frequency. So I took a break and then I felt better. All right. So it's important to pay attention to how you feel when running frequencies. Never underestimate them. A lot of times people think, oh, it's not doing anything. Okay. It most likely is. Okay. Especially if it's a scan, because it's customized to you. Right. So it's good to take a break. It's important to monitor yourself by noticing any changes in I'm just going to list some things: digestion, energy, sleep patterns, moods, complexion, pain, eyes, dull or bright, memory recall, appetite, mental focus, mobility, balance, libido, etc. Like little things that you would think that are not connected, but what is changing in you? What do you notice? Subtle changes. I see people that think that the scalar is useless. Like they say, oh, I had it a month and it didn't do anything. Yeah. Well, have you monitored any of those things? Have you noticed if you're sleeping differently? Have you noticed if you're thirsty? Have you noticed, I don't know, these little things, right? Because it's affecting you, but it could be, on a subtle level. And hang in there. And what are you doing anyway? I mean, I'm not saying people do this, but it's possible you could be drinking a ton of alcohol before you go to bed. Okay. You might, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you might not notice these little changes, right? You might become less aware of your body, what's happening. And I'm not saying that's everyone or anything like that. I'm just giving an example. All right, so here's a photo of my dog on my messy bed. I took advantage that she got on my bed and I scanned her. Okay, because she was asleep and well, she was very relaxed and she was pretty still. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to operate the software to do a biofeedback scalar scan. All right, so let me go into the share, go into the software. Okay, here we are. All right, so you want to go into presets. All right, so you've hooked up your hardware and now you're ready to do your scan. Just going to get rid of that. All right, so I'm going to go to home in the presets. The first one on the list is biofeedback. Click on that. Now you go to Scalar Digitizer. See, it's the third one down. Click on that. There's the 4 options. All right, you have the hunt and kills, and then you have the other ones, the regular ones, which is what I'm going to show you first. So you click on the slave, digitizer slave. All right, then you go into settings. This is really important. Pay attention. You go to output control. It's in the middle at the top. See that little box there? I put in 5. Okay, so that's my G1 port. All right, you put your G1 port in there. It's number 5 for me. Go into control. Click on overwrite generator and you click 4, which is your G2 port. All right. Then you go back into presets. Click on master. Go into control. Click overwrite. And click on 5. Okay, so it says Spooky2 Scalar Digitizer Master. Then you just click on the scan. That's it. And you get in position. So here down at the bottom, it says start delay. I put in 200 there. That gives me a little time. They recommend 2000, but that gives you time to do your own scan. You don't have to ask anyone to press the scan button for you. When the scan is complete, it's going to beep. And then you know the scan's done. Okay, so that's it. It's very simple. Now, if you want to reverse lookup, you just go over here to the right and you just press go. And then it will come up with 20 frequency hits. And those are your results. Okay, and you can look at those, you know, like I did. Like I said, it's not diagnostic. It's going to give you maybe some insight. All right. Some people don't even do the reverse lookup because it freaks them out. It can freak you out because it comes up with all kinds of stuff. But you know, it's up to you. I think it's a good tool personally. Now let's go back into presets and we're gonna do the hunter kill. So it's exactly the same. All right, so you go to the slave first. You go into settings, go just output control, put in your G1 port number there, which is 5 for me. Go into control, press override, and now you're going to click on G2, which is port 4 for me. All right, there it says Scalar Digitizer Hunt and Kill Slave. Go back into presets, click the master Hunt and Kill, go straight to control, override, and click on 5, which is your G1 port. There it is, hunt to kill. And then you press scan. That's it. That's all you have to do. Did I say when the scan is done, it gives a little beep, beep, and then you know it's done. And then you can either run. Oh, no. So with the hunt and kill, it's just going to keep going. Actually, I don't know if it does that beep because it just keeps going until you manually stop it. Right. So again, it's going to scan, and then it's going to run the frequencies, and then it's going to scan and run the frequencies until you stop it. Okay. So I'm not sure if it does the beep. I know it does the beep with the other scan to let you know it's completed, and then it stopped. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here now. Stop share. I'm going to go back into share screen, into the slide. Where we're at here. We're almost at the end. Sure. That's not it. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so I'm going to skip the Q&A. If you have any questions, like I said, you can reach out to Spooky. They will answer anything. You can also shoot me an email if you like, or find me on one of those social media platforms. It's frequencies up at Gmail. I'm Sara Fancy Constellation on Instagram. I'm Sara Fancy on Facebook. And then I have frequencies up YouTube channel. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you found this webinar useful. So I'll just say a little bit about that because they come in different packages. So you got the basic scalar, which is just the 2 boxes with the cables. You can do a lot with that. You can do the modulation. You can put your supplements on there. Some people use it for cancer. They put their cancer meds on there and they mix it with their urine or their blood. And then that sends the information into the field that the meds are going to kill the cancer cells. Okay, because that's what it's doing in the little sample that you put on there. I've never done that personally, but I've heard about it. I've heard people getting good results with that. So yeah, you can, and that's something, it's easy to set up. You can just get it going immediately. Like when you get it, set it up. It's easy. Just follow the instructions. It comes with the instructions. It's not complicated. You don't need a laptop with that. Okay. You don't need a laptop with that setup. Then you have the next one, which is the Scalar with the Generator X Pro and the Scalar Digitizer. So with that, you can do the scans, and with that, you can do the Rife mode, which you can put in the frequencies with the scalar as well. All right. And then I also put the central here because it's so great. That's typically people who have cancer or very serious conditions. They get the central because it's really strong. It's very strong. And again, like I said earlier, that's focused more on killing, whereas the scalar is more focused on healing. My personal preference, I don't have any terrible illnesses or anything, thank goodness, touch wood. But I really like the scalar. I noticed things for me, slow things started happening, meaning it was not sort of like a blow my mind moment. It was more like I realized I'm not getting the eczema that I was always had on my fingers when my skin would crack. It was absolutely horrible. And I realized I hadn't been getting it. And then I realized that my circulation was better. I wasn't waking up with numb hands, so I could lay on my side and not wake up with numb hand, right? Which is to do with circulation. I noticed when I broke my collarbone that there was an acceleration of my healing because I could support my body when I got out of bed in the morning And it was a drastic difference. One morning I was like, whoa, I can put weight on that arm. Whereas I, had to be very careful getting out of bed. And that was kind of a huge leap, And I thought, well, the only thing really that I've been doing consistently is the scalar. So I attributed that to the scalar. And in the description, it says it does enhance natural healing as well, right? So that's why I like it. I like it because it's easy and easy to use. Yeah. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you, and good luck with everything. And I hope to see you again for my next webinar in a couple of months. Thank you very much for watching.